Glancing wing. It is a downward, inward diagonal block in glancing wing. And right now you probably notice that. So as you come in with the uppercut punch, it's this way. And it's inward on the outside of his arm. Do that again. That's the first thing I usually see done wrong. That a lot of people like to do this number and doing either a horizontal or a downward, outward block, right, on the first move. When you do that, your second move of glancing wing is no longer makes sense in my view. The second move is a chopping punch. It's not a claw to the face, it's not a backhand to the face, it's a chopping punch, right? Again, ready? Okay, as I'm punching him in the face. One more time. There you go. Right? In the new journal, he calls it a downward inward diagonal block. That can confuse people. Do it again. Ready? Okay, as I'm punching him in the face. One more time. There you go. Right? And then the next confusing thing is he talks about a chopping punch. Now, the reason why we have a chopping punch, first of all, a chopping punch is two grafted bases. It's two different bases grafted together. All right? It has the motion, the beginning of a chopping punch. Can you just stand over here for a moment? Yes, the beginning of a chopping punch, the name comes from the idea that it's basically the same as the inward hand sword. Parting wings. We kind of come from here and then go to this strike right here, right? That is an inward thrusting hand sword, right? And if you look at the elbow position, that is definitely different than an uppercut motion. Right? This comes more from the side right here, and then it torques, hitting with the hand sword right there, right? That is a chopping motion, right? And so a chopping punch starts like that, but doesn't end like that. It is two bases grafted together. So in glancing wing, right, we are in this position right here, and we're going to immediately try to get to the outside of his arm, but our right arm, you just look at the right arm, has the beginning of a chopping motion, but the ending of a punch, an uppercut punch. So the first half of a chopping punch is circular like so, because I don't want to make a huge circle right here. I don't want to leave this arm behind. I want to go from here and stay on and go right to this punch. So from the first move here, right to this, and then circle it. The chopping punch starts like a chop, but ends like an uppercut. Okay? So that one's from that angle, actually do it from this angle right here. So glancing away, so one, and go right to here, while this arm just wraps around his arm. He's resisting anyhow. He's helping me move away from this arm, and then bam, hitting him right there, all right? Makes sense? From here, come around, and right to there, okay? That's the beginning of glancing wing. So you boom, right there. That's how quickly we're talking about hitting him in the face and breaking those ribs. From here, 1, 2. Oops, sorry. Okay, so 1, 2. It does not take much time. And it controls also the rest of his body. You'd probably be a little bit more squared up in an uppercut punch, right? So if I'm here, 1 and 2, right? It's hard for you to get me there because I got this arm in the way already. And if you still try to get me, I've got this coming up next, and I'm checking for that punch right here. All right, watch that one more time. So 1, and then I come around right here, right, 2, all right, into the chopping punch, and then immediately from here, if he tries to headbutt me, for example, that's the next problem. I block right here, I come around, he's headbutting me. Well, he's not, all right, because I'm here already. And then from here, with my palm still up, as I come around, I'm going to torque this right there, and do a diagonal punch diagonally across my body. think about this, that we are able in attacking mace, just as we are in flashing mace or flashing wings, we're able to stay on the outside of that arm. You throw the punch, right? You're on the outside of the arm. You're either going to, do an elbow strike together with the check, or like in attacking mace, we're going to do the punch right afterwards, right? Or if it was a flashing mace, right? Then I'm going to have, I may not have the elbow break right in here, but I'm going to have this strike right here. This is a raking back knuckle to the temple, right? And then before I'm doing that next strike, right? All of those are designed to for me not to get hit by that other arm, and for me to get my strike in. So I have, for me, a one. I can control your second punch this way. You're good, you're good. Or I can be much closer in, going more into like a zonal sanctuary together with the check, like we have in flashing wings. Right? The check is very important. The zonal sanctuary is not enough. The flashing mace idea, where I'm assuming right now, let's do it without the arm break. Right? So I'm here, and then from this position again, as he tries to punch me with his other arm, good luck. All he's going to do is run right into this. All right? If you're right here, already I'm punched, boom, I'm out right over here. I'm out of the range of your strikes. All right? So that's what those things have in common to greater or lesser degrees, right? I'm on the outside of the first punch, and that's a good place to stay. And I'm going to try to stay on the outside, and sometimes I'm even going to amplify that more, right? Now we got dancing wing. I can no longer just check the arm here. He's going to stay. That's not enough to control his other arm. I can't cross his arms up, right? So the solution then becomes your rear arm, right? So if we're doing this, boom, I can try to hit you right in the face. The problem in this technique is it's an odd stance instead of an even stance. Well, they all work, but I'm not slipping behind the arm. I'm not slipping behind the arm. So again, put your left foot forward. I have my right foot forward. This is odd stance fighting right now. Put your arm up. When your arm is up high, I can use it to hide behind. And that's what gives me attacking mace, right? Or flashing wings, or flashing mace, right? I can hide behind this arm because it's high. When he drops that arm, that goes away. The second arm is now, it's like a battle between your rear arm versus, me. I might use my rear arm, I might use my front arm to do something about this. But there's really no reason for me, though, to give up the same position with the arm, to give up this punch. I have more power with this one right here, right? So it's the inward block together with that punch, right? But it's not guaranteed. This punch is not guaranteed. We talked about it the other day, because all you got to do is cover your face like a boxer would. Yeah, and I'm going, holy cow, I don't have an available target for my punch. This is very likely to occur in this situation. That wasn't a problem in attacking mace, where I was going underneath your arm, you couldn't even see the hit. Or in flashing wings, that wasn't an issue there. Now it is. With this, right? You're going to go, okay, so go ahead. How are you going to hit me? If I'm hitting you here, how are you going to control my other arm? Right?
And if I go low, you're going to pop me.
Exactly. You can't go low. Any good point fighter who's ever been in an odd stance goes like, okay, I have to punch with my rear arm to the head, because when I'm the low punch, switch, here was great to go to the bridge because he can't block it, right? And I can control him. He switches. Now going low with his punch is suicide, because it means I'm under your punch. And I'm going to run right into that. It's rear arm against rear arm is the biggest problem in the odd stance. Right? You guys all know that from sparring. Rear arm against rear arm is a tough situation to be in. So in glancing wing, we're so cover now. There's only a couple of choices. Either you're not doing anything yet, and I'm going to hit you, or you're punching but you're slow, and I'm going to do the same thing, or you're covering, and I never had the opportunity for that target, so come in with the hand already covered, and then you're coming in, and I'm just going to check with this. So this can very easily just become a check. Right? We cannot predict whether or not that's going to be available to us, so the punch again, or if it comes in completely covered. In which case, yeah, I got a check now. The good news is there's no problem with that, because if I do the same thing, you're covering, right? You're here. That's why we have got the chopping punch right afterwards to take advantage, to find the next target, right? Now, if somebody will want to argue, because if you're a smart analyst, you're going to go, well, hang on, then why even waste all the time with that first punch if there's only a 50-50 chance of getting it in? It's because you have no choice. If I don't go high with my rear arm, just like you said a moment ago, he will. Right? I can't just go right into hitting here. I'm going to get knocked out. Right? So I got to go. All right, don't get hit with that. Try to stay on the outside, which is a better angle for this punch anyhow. All right? If I go down without one, you're going to knock me out much faster. Right? So if I'm going to get knocked out, I want it to happen a little slower. But the point is, I might be able to still get this in. If not, I'm just going to check this. But at least I didn't run into any strikes. Right, so it seems like excessive blocking, one and then check, but we don't have much of a choice. And so our first good, almost guaranteed strike is the chopping punch. That's why it's so important to keep the chopping punch tight. Right, so as he comes in and he covers, and I have to check, now the chopping punch is beautiful. Right? Behind his neck and my right hand is palm upright. And from here I want to go punch elbow. And so let's get the punch elbow. It's actually a forearm elbow strike. This is a portion of the forearm that's struck. It's not a regular inward elbow. So even, I believe Mr. Parker even refers to it as a forearm elbow strike. Forearm elbow strike, which is, I don't see any other technique where he refers to it. Right? So it definitely means that it's all of this involved in the action. Right? So you can think of like a V, maybe, punch, because he's telling us also to punch diagonally across our body from here, right, which means diagonally across, the square I have in front of my shoulder, right, that imaginary square. I punch towards that corner, because that's where its face is at. And then the inward elbow can follow that instantly. It's a very fast combination to go from the inward horizontal punch right here, or the diagonal punch, to inward elbow. I would drop my fist on that one because I don't want to pinpoint it. I want to go from the first to the second. And notice I'm right now purposely hitting you more like in the masseter area with the second one. In reality, you've probably been moving away from me a little more, but I am holding you. Yeah. Right? But the point is, there's two strikes that are so quick in combination. A lot of times I'm being very careful in class to give you a chance to aim with those, but I want you to really think about this, what it really takes to go from this rotation, because you were here, from this rotation, turning that forearm is very easy, right? And then right there, that elbow comes instantly from here. Put your hand right there. Put your hand right there. Okay. So I'm in this position. It's very good.